In 2022, a corporate IT professional chose to pivot from the world of technology to the art of scent, launching what would become a rising force in the niche luxury market. What began as a self-funded venture specializing in fragrance oils has since evolved into a full-scale fragrance house celebrated for its sophisticated, high-end compositions. Now, entering its third year of operation, the brand stands as a testament to the power of entrepreneurial independence and the pursuit of olfactive excellence. This is the story of House of Iyrah, founded and led by Samira.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. You really captured that very well. You know, a lot of people don't actually know that my background is in IT. I had my bachelor's degree in accounting, and then my master's degree is in information technology with a concentration in cybersecurity. I also have certifications in AI. So when the conversation started popping up about fragrance being inspired by AI, I'm like, interesting.
You're like, I'm actually qualified to speak about this.
Yeah, you know, it's funny because at Beauty World, I think there was a brand. I don't know if it was House of Cosmos, but I don't think it was House of Cosmos, but it was a perfume house called Cosmos, I think. And they approached me and they were like, "Oh, we're so excited to let you know, like, we think that we're trying to use AI to introduce fragrance. Like, people can create their own fragrances with the use of AI. You don't need a perfumer." I was like, "Interesting. Tell me about it." And I was like, okay, I'm gonna put a prompt in. And I put in a prompt, I was like, okay, give me a fragrance inspired by Sour France. And the name came up, Rivera, very cool notes, very fresh notes. I was like, okay, I asked somebody else in my boot to like think of a fragrance that they want from Sour France and put in a prompt. And it was a different prompt that they put in, and it was the same exact notes. And I asked her, like, have you guys thought about this? How is it going to be unique to whoever is trying to get a fragrance created? I'm like, have you guys thought about compliance as well? Because when it comes to AI, obviously every state in America has different compliance act when it comes to AI. In Europe, it's a different level when it comes to compliance. Have you guys thought about that? And it was a whole back and forth. And she was like, are you open to joining a panel so we can have a conversation about it? I'm like, absolutely. I would love to. I would love to challenge you guys to, have you guys rethink what it is that you're trying to do. But yeah.
we'll we'll circle back because I'm gonna put that in there.
Yeah.
So I always like to ask like a really random question to start off, and I just want to know if you were marked safe from the frag bros at Set Explore.
I don't think I got to experience any of the frag rows, to be honest. They were more towards the entrance, and we were all the way at the back. So walking around, I did see some of them. Interesting, but I was just minding my business and drinking water. That's all.
Did you enjoy Set Explore?
I did, because this is my second year doing Sun Explore, and to be honest, I will probably do Sun Explore as many times as I have to, just because for me, Sun Explore is all about the experience of meeting the community of people who support me online. And again, for House of Ara, that is the core of our business, our community, and just meeting everybody, just getting to just see people. It's if anything, it's life changing, to be honest, because it's one thing to sit, create a fragrance and sell online, but to actually meet people in person and you see them genuinely excited about what you created, it's very humbling. It's a teaching experience, and there's a lot to take from it. I came home satisfied and just happy. Like, this is a good way to end the year. Meeting the people who truly, truly enjoy House of Iyrah. So yeah.
And do you think that Sin Explorer is worth the investment? Like, did you get any return on investment? Did you see like clicks? Did you see orders? Did anything come out of that?
Last year, Senexlo was the biggest investment that we had because that was the platform that introduced House of Ara to the world. And so for me, I will be forever grateful to Senexplore. I will say, if you're a starting brand, Senexplore, if you can apply for Senexplore, apply for it. If you get in, that will help a lot of people know about your brand. But just make sure that when you're coming to Senexplore, have your story straight because people are watching. Everybody who is coming there, some people are just excited to try new fragrance. There are people who come like you. You're listening and you're asking very insightful questions, intentional questions. And for me, Again, that's very important. That's how you get to spread your word out there. And if you're launching a new fragrance, honestly, Scent Explorer is just a new place for you to come. That will give people a chance to smell it. Obviously, people might not buy immediately, but the return on investment with Scent Explorer is definitely worth it. I will advise any brand to do it. If you have the money for it, go for it. Because you might not make the sales. Where is my commercial? Oh, okay. Thank you. I am not used to TikTok Live, but you might not make the sales that you wanted, but I promise you, the fact that people will keep posting about you, you will see a lot of traffic on your website. You see a lot of traffic on your page, and people will become more intrigued to know about you, and that will be an advantage for you to just take on and spread your word out there. So yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Now, are you still working your job or are you all in House of Ira?
Full transparency. There was a time this year that I actually quit my job because it was too much. It was a toxic environment, and then House of Ira. I had to put in a lot of time into House of Ira, but then again, right now I still had to go back to get my full time job because I still need to take care of myself. Mama got bills to pay, right? And House of Ira is 100% funded by me, so I cannot empty my entire savings account. Something needs to keep going back in there. So yeah.
So how risky was doing it on your own, funding the brand on your own?
Any business, if you're going to fund it, even if you get funds from outside, there's a risk, right? And the risk is it going to sell? Are people going to get the message that you're trying to pass across? Are you doing a great job? I like taking risks, to be honest. And for me, I just look at everything as a learning process. Like, what can I learn from this? What can I learn from this? Like, there's always room for growth, right? And I'll be honest with you, I had days where I cried. I was sitting in my office and I cried because I was like, did I make the right decision taking all my savings and putting it into this? Because when you look at House of Ira, if I could brag for a little bit, the quality of our bottles, the quality of the packaging, everything is like 100%. Even when it comes to the oils, when we're working with perfumers, we take top quality oils. Like literally, our oils per kilogram is almost 350, and that is super high. The amount of money that we charge for House of Iyer, if we were like a brand like Amouage, they would charge you $550 for that, just because of the quality of everything that we put in there. But I was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it. Everything is it's not gonna pay up immediately, but it's a compounding effect. Yeah, if you start a business and you are expecting to see profit immediately, you will be greatly disappointed because consumers are the hardest people to please. Because number one, if people have never seen you in the market, people will be curious, like, okay, who is this and who are you? What do you have to offer? And they will be like, huh, interesting. Okay, tell us more. It takes people at least 5 times of seeing you consistently to be intrigued, to be like, okay, I want to look into this brand, because every day there's some new brand popping. What makes you distinct from them? What is your unique proposition that makes you separate from every other brand that will want people to be genuinely interested in you? So yeah, there's definitely the risk, but the passion is the part that keeps you going even when you don't see a return. I just know for a fact that it pays off. It paid off for us this year. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, this year was a really, 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 really great year for House of Iyer. When we look at the sales that we made last year compared to this year, it's like almost 200 times the sales. And again, the community grew bigger. There was more brand awareness, that was like our main business goal. We got that. So yeah, there's definitely a risk. Honestly, if you're doing anything and there's no risk in it, don't do it. There has to be a risk.
So, saying all of that, would if you had to redo this, would you self-fund again or would you look for investments?
To be honest with you, I will self fund. I will always pick self fund. And again, if you have the opportunity to self fund, do it before you bring in investors. Hear me out. When you self fund, this is a platform, and you're setting the stage as to how you want the world to perceive your brand. Because investors, they think about their money. If they're investing in your business, it's because they see a potential and they need their money back, which means that you don't have the opportunity to take risk, a lot of risk. Everything that you're going to create is going to be mainstream because that's what sells a lot. Not everybody has the patience to sit down and actually try a niche fragrance to be like, okay, I'm going to enjoy it. This is something that I've never seen before. In my opinion, people who truly enjoy House of Iyrah, I consider them, they have acquired taste because House of Iyrah is not the typical fragrance that you see in the market. If I had investors, I would not be able to put out what I'm putting out. It would be really, really mainstream. And for me, setting the stage right now, in the future, if I'm able to open up to investors, at least if people have to get equity, I have a higher bargaining power. Now, there's these two guys who own Google. If you guys know the story, they own Google. They have less amount of shares when it comes to their ownership on Google, but the way they set it up, they have different types of investors. I think they have investor C. All you do is you just get shares back. You cannot vote or anything. And then there's investor A, where for every share you have one voting power. And then there's the highest ranking, which is like for every share you get like 10 to 20 voting power. And that is where two of them, they're the only two people that sit up there, and a few people. Every other person is either the one at the bottom, like A or C. So for me right now, if honestly, I would not like to open to any investors just because being 100% owned by me, I'm able to take risks. I'm able to play with fragrances, create new things that people have never seen before, introduce the world to so many things. If we do eventually open up to investors, at least I have a lot of bargaining power. Because right now, if an investor was to come, they will offer me like what, 300K, and they'll be asking for like more than half of my business, and I don't want that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So switching gears, since we're talking about money,
Yeah.
what is your biggest expense?
So the two biggest expense for us right now is labor and marketing. When I say labor, everything you see at House of Iyrah right now, it's not done by me. I have a team of people. And that is the advice that I will always give people. In order to make money, you got to spend money. People don't understand that. If you want to make money, you got to spend money, which means that you need to hire the smartest people in the room to form your team, and the output is going to be great. Smart people who are willing to work together, to collaborate together, and that is what is going to give you the output. You guys see our social media page, you see that it's at least two people behind that or three people behind that. We have a creative director, we have a social media manager, we have a graphic designer, and they put all of that together. The creative director is the one in charge of like, okay, how do we show up? And you guys see that. Obviously, I know exactly what I want, but we have to constantly make sure that we stay on team, we stay on brand. That way, every time you see a House of Iyrah video anywhere, you know for a fact that that is House of Iyrah. We have brand strategists, we have marketing strategists. These people are not cheap. Even the social media manager is not cheap because you could literally spend 24 hours a day on your social media page just for community management. For me, one of the things that we prioritize is for every post, for everything that we're tagged in, if we come across that, we have to respond to it. Again, just to show appreciation. Because for me, when I see it personally on my personal page, I try to make sure that I respond to it because it's an emotional thing for me. And we also on the House of Iyrah page make sure that we acknowledge it because it's one thing to take your time to create something for a brand, even though you're not being paid for it. And imagine that a brand doesn't acknowledge you. It's very discouraging, right? The least that we can offer anybody is just to say thank you. Thank you so much for putting this out there. Genuinely, we really care and we're really appreciative of it. Now, marketing, every brand spends a lot of money when it comes to marketing. There's different kinds of marketing. Just putting together like the creatives that you see, the content creation, you need to pay for it. It's not cheap. Say for example, the events that we had, we did all of that because again, I wanted to connect with the community and also raise brand awareness. It was not cheap. Each of those events cost me at least $20,000. Yes. Yes. Putting together PR packages. Sometimes when you try to create a custom PR package, there's MOQs. And if you're trying to work with all these people in China, even the ones here in America, they will tell you minimum 200. For a small brand like me to create a PR package and 200, how many people am I trying to send PR to? Because if I was to send 200 boxes of PR outside, so how much am I going to have left to sell? those are things that you have to put into perspective. And if you're going to order something very low, like say 50, it's going to cost a lot. But you just have to do that because you don't want the extra just lying around. You know what I'm saying? Um, Another thing that takes money is just like the product development, working with the perfume houses. Some of them have MOQs and it's very, very high. Just the packaging for us, our packaging is, again, is expensive to put that together just because I like quality. And I'm hoping that in the future we're going to improve on our packaging, again, make it much more better. So, yes, thank you. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I say this like, I would just say it out there as a small brand, and I speak for all other small brands, startups. Please give us grace. We get a lot of DMs, emails from people asking for PR. If a brand doesn't respond, it's very expensive to send out PR. Because think about how many bottles do we produce? I cannot produce 10,000 bottles. I'm not there yet. I'm not there yet. Because if I was doing 10,000 bottles, this would be so dead cheap that I'll be able to send out PR as much as I want to. But I'm not. And as much grace as you give the bigger brands, give a smaller brand that same amount of grace. It's sad where you see people asking smaller brands for free product, but you see them spending a lot of money on the bigger brands. And I'm like, come on, make it make sense. You know, make it make sense. Every brand has to start from somewhere. But how can we start if you guys don't give us an opportunity, if you don't support us, you know? So, yeah.
We're gonna come back to that one too. So for the people that don't know the story of the House of Ira, I'll let you explain.
Absolutely. So House of Iyrah started off when I was a kid without even knowing because my mom is anosmic. For those of you who don't know what that is, anosmia is when you don't have the ability to smell. And this is a disability that a lot of people sleep on it. A lot of people don't know about it. Like the same way you have people who are blind, people who can hear, they cannot speak, you have people who cannot smell. And my mom, she loves fragrances. She loves to wear fragrances. And I think that was a love thing between her and my dad. My dad passed away when I was like 4 years old. And so my dad used to be the one that picked out her fragrances before obviously I came into the picture. And when my dad passed away, my other siblings are very older than me. I was the only person with her at home. So she would have me pick out fragrances for her. And so I had to, at a young age, start thinking of creative ways to explain what something smelled like to my mom without the use of smell. Because she doesn't even know what anything smells like. It's like blank to her. So I started using things like emotions or how I was feeling when I smelled the fragrance, or I'll probably try to see if I could tie it to a memory, or I look for things like touch, texture to explain what that fragrance felt like. And that is where I realized that at that time I thought it was a mom thing. I thought it was just something very unique about my mom. And then growing older, going into the world, I realized that there are other people out there who really cannot smell. And it always bothered me like, so how do they know what a fragrance smelled like? Because right now most fragrance brands only cater to those who can smell. Right? Those who cannot smell don't know what a fragrance smells like, and they'll just pick anything. And fragrance is all about your body chemistry. Certain things might not match with you. Sometimes a fragrance will match with you, but you don't like how it smells on you, and that's why you don't wear it. But other people will admire it on you. And funny enough, in 2021, I had COVID. And the side effects of my COVID was I was nose blind. I became anosmic for 2 months. For somebody who loves fragrances, that was hell. And I was like, you know what? I want to create a brand where if you are not able to smell, there has to be a way for you to connect with fragrances. And that would be the stories that inspire our fragrances. I want you to be able to hear the story and decide if you want to wear that fragrance or not. That story should be able to be the determining factor if you can wear that fragrance or not. At least this caters to everybody, regardless of what your sensory ability is. Now, granted, those who can smell, you have the additional advantage of smelling to be like, okay, I like this or not. But yeah, that is what started House of Iyrah. So each of our fragrances at House of Iyrah is inspired by a personal memory of mine. So who knows, this life might just inspire something and you see it in a bottle.
Is there any sadness there, like with your mother when you create something and just knowing that she can't smell it? Is there like a feeling of sadness, or do you take joy in like explaining it to her in a way that makes her feel it?
I take so much joy in explaining it to her, to be honest, because I mean, she was born like that, right? There's no way that we can change it. I'm pretty sure every one of us has a disability in some way, shape, or form. We just might not have unlocked it yet. Some people find out when they're 40 that they're autistic or they have ADHD, you know what I'm saying? For me, there's so much joy there because that's how you get to connect with her. My mom was actually, I just dropped my mom off at the airport today. And before she was leaving, she left with a plethora of fragrances, which I had picked out for her because I know that they were going to go so well with her. And I had to explain to her what each of them smelled like based on memory. So if she decided to wear any of them, she would know when to wear it based on the story that I told her. Obviously, sometimes she would text me and she'd be like, "What did you say this fragrance is about again?" And I have to describe it to her, and she's like, "Okay, well, not today, not today for this one. I'll probably wear the other one today." So for me, it's like it's joy because even amongst my siblings, I'm the person that picks out their fragrances. Like my oldest brother, the one before me, he would not let anybody buy him a fragrance if it's not me. Yeah, I'm the like literally all his fragrances that he has, I picked it out for him. So yeah, for me there's so much joy in there. Now, would I love for my mom to smell? Absolutely, but child, she lives her life and she has no problem or no care in the world. I'm not about to be letting that steal my sadness. So yeah.
Okay. Now, I'm unsure. You said you work with perfumers or you are a perfumer?
I work with perfumers as well. So the thing is, like, to work with a perfumer, you have to give them a creative brief. I know exactly what I'm looking for as much as I give them creative freedom. But I would tell you exact. So the way I do my creative briefs is very, very unconventional. I will give you a picture. I will tell you what the memory is about, and I'll tell you exactly the emotions that I'm feeling or that I felt at that time. And I will tell you the texture of the if this perfume was like a fabric, what the texture would feel like. And if I was to connect this to a song, an audio, what that song would feel like. So you can feel all the feels as a perfumer when you're creating it. Now, I might tell you like, I would like to see XYZ note in there, just to see how it goes. But then you have the creative freedom to put the other notes in there and we go from there. We start to modify till I'm satisfied. And I am very hard to please. Yeah.
Well, interesting that you say that because I want to know what was the brief for Symphony?
So, Symphony is Saint Martin. If you've ever been to Saint Martin, you will understand like Saint Martin has the European and Caribbean culture that is unheard of. We typically have American Caribbean culture, African Caribbean culture, but this was European and Caribbean culture infused into one. And the European culture is French and Dutch into like that is like two opposites. And so when I went there to St. Martin for the first time, I was just so in love with that island. And I feel like that's my favorite Caribbean island, to be honest, because I had way too much fun. And just looking at the different cultures all infused into one, I was like, I want to create a fragrance that is a little bit tropical, but not too tropical, but it's still giving a gourmand and floral. And that's what you have there in Symphony. Like Symphony is that perfect fragrance when you're going to the Caribbean islands, take it. Because the saffron and the sandalwood, it doesn't give too much depth, but it allows like the gourmand and the floral notes to be able to shine, if that makes sense. So that was the brief for Symphony. And this song by Don Omar, Danza. um, this song by Danza Kuduro, that was the song because that was the feeling that I was feeling with Symphony. But I wanted something very playful, but not too playful and still very upskill, if that made sense. Yeah.
It's interesting, like hearing your side of it, because for me, like someone asked me how would I describe Symphony, and I honestly I couldn't give them like a one to one of something. I had to say like it just smells like a cashmere set or like a really expensive store, like Lord Piana. Like this to me
Yeah.
triggers Lord Piana in my head. And
Yep.
that was the
Yep.
best way that I could explain it.
No, seriously, because when I created fragrance, fragrance is to create a fragrance is art. Like we're all artists, you know, you're artists in your own way of layering your fragrances together. So when I created fragrance, it's an art, but I still look at it like it's a blank canvas that I get to give to you guys. And then you take that blank canvas and you create your own art with it because it's gonna smell different on you. It's gonna trigger different memories for you, different emotions. You know, some people might say symphony is too strong, and I'm like, but then I understand that everybody has their different body chemistries, you know. So absolutely, you're very justified in however you want to describe symphony. Everybody's definition of symphony, I'm okay with that because that's how you see it, and that's the whole point. If everybody saw symphony the same way, I think it's gonna be boring. And so yeah, that's what makes fragrance to me very interesting. Like if I smell a fragrance, I have to go on a journey in my mind. Like I just need to get lost for a little bit. And I start describing to you what I see just by smelling this fragrance. If I don't go on a journey, I'm not gonna buy that fragrance or I'm not gonna push it. So yeah.
Now, what is the most difficult part about making a fragrance?
So in the beginning, the most difficult part was trying to find a perfume house to work with. But child, right now, I think I might spill some tea on here, but right now we are working with amazing perfumers, and I'll give you some names. We're working with Firminish. We're working with there's this other fragrance house in France called Ajaville. And guess who we're about to start working with? I don't know. Guess. Come on. Anybody in the comment section, just guess who we're about to start working with.
Um, are the initials QB?
No, 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 no.
Mm,
One of the biggest fragrance houses in the world.
oh, a fragrance house. DSM Firminish. My mind went blank. um,
They've created some of the best fragrance houses of best fragrances that some of you guys right now love. Somebody said it. Sense off. Very right. Keep it on. Yes. 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 Our next fragrance is gonna be created by them. So stay tuned. So now I know you smelled something during Scent Explore, but that one is gonna be scratched off because as much as I liked it, ugh, ugh, mm-mm, mm-mm.
I think together they were really good. I
Yeah,
can say that.
yeah. Well, I had them put that together, and I just was not feeling it still. Mm-mm, mm-mm. But Jivadang is not the one who created that, so let's see what they're gonna do. I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I can't wait to see what Givaudan, what it does, what they do with the fragrance, like that
Yeah.
level of expertise.
Yes, I'm excited because I know for a fact that it's going to be a banger. For me, one of the things that I don't focus on, I don't care for virality, to be honest. I don't care to create a viral fragrance. That's not what I'm here for. I care to create a really good fragrance that you will keep wearing all the time. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, I just wanted to create a good fragrance that people just want to keep wearing and smelling, and like the way people go feral for symphony now opera. I'm like, yes, I want that kind of effect. When people smell that. So yeah, I'm excited. For me, that's like one of the biggest highlights for us this year. Being able to work with these big fragrance houses. They don't work with any kind of person, especially small brands. They don't really work with small brands. We just done three, and we got that opportunity. I had posted on my story. I was like, one day Givaudan is gonna make a fragrance for us. I just spoke that into existence, and it's happening. So
Now, did they did you approach them or did they approach you?
So I approached them during Beauty World in Dubai. I was walking with my finance manager, and I was like, I saw their booth. I wanted to just stop by and say, hey, what's up? because at the time I was already signed on with Feminist, so that was great. But I was like, Juvenile might just be way out of our league because everybody else I talk to, they're like, oh, they're so freaking expensive and stuff like that because their MOQs are really high. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna walk in there and see what's up. You know, I walked in there. I met Sergio. He's one of the perfumer. He's a perfumer who created Blue Talisman. He did the Blue Talisman X-Ray as well. He did Maison Crivelli Oud Maracuja. So he was there. I was so excited to speak to him because again, that's somebody I admire his work, and we talked. And the VP of sales was there, and we were just talking, and I just explained like, okay, who I am, and they're like, yeah, they've never really heard of me. I'm like, yeah, I know. Can you guys swing by my booth later on when you get a chance? Because you guys are busy right now, and I really smelled good stuff at their booth. They're like, sure, why not? And during Beauty World, my finance manager went and got the VP of sales and brought him to our booth, and we walked him through all our fragrances. We gave him the story of our brand, and he was very, very intrigued because he had told me like they don't work with any kind of person. Like the story has to make sense. It has to be an alignment, and then especially for a small brand, that's how they get to um, work with you. And he really fell in love with our brand. Of course, he gave me some feedback as to things that we could improve with the brand, website and everything, which I was very grateful for. And he was like, well, but since you're in the US, I have to talk to the team in the US to create an account for you because we can definitely do something really great for you. And Sun Explorer, he was speaking at Sun Explorer. He actually gave me his personal number during Beauty World Dubai. And then during Sun Explorer, we met again, and he's like, yeah, I haven't forgotten. I've just been busy. And then I was at the panel for Sun Explorer. As I was about to start speaking, he came up to me at the panel with the guy, like the VP here in New York, and he's like, this is the person, this is him, this is Samira. I'm going to send an email to so you guys can take it from there. And it happened. Yeah. I'm so excited. I'm trying just to keep calm. Like, okay, hoocha. Let's see.
So you started off with oils.
Yes.
What what made you want to switch to perfume?
So the plan had always been to create a full body care routine. Because again, for me, I never usually wore fragrances like that. I would always layer with oils. Even before oils was a thing with TikTok, that's something that I've been doing a very long time ago. And so I started off with oils just to see, like, you know how you have to dip your foot in there just to make sure, okay, this is the right feel for you. And then when I did oils, it was great. It was successful for first year, but I knew that fragrances had always been my love, and I was like, okay, I guess it's time for us to move towards fragrances. I mean, eventually we're going to have body lotions, body butters, body oils. We're gonna have oils again, but more body oils from the fragrances that we create. Who knows, candles and many other stuff. But it's just the whole point of having this brand is to create everything that smells good. I love everything that smells good. Like for me, when I meet a person, the first thing I notice is how you smell. Hmm.
Take
Yeah.
notes, people.
Yes.
So what's your criteria for deciding that okay, this fragrance is ready?
Again, like I said, when I give a creative brief, when you bring the fragrance back to me, I want to be able to smell. Like I want to be able when I smell it, I want to be able to be transported to that memory. Obviously, I'm the only person that knows what that memory is, and perfumers do their very best to try to uh, bring that to life in the fragrance. So sometimes I could smell something and I'm like, yeah, something is off here. Something is not off here. Like when it's right, you just know because you have that, oh my God, that reaction. Like for me, I'm very expressive with my emotions, especially when it comes to fragrances. I don't get shy about it. So that's how I know, like, okay, it's right. Now, sometimes I could really, 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 really be so much of a critique that I'm like, okay, I start doubting myself. And so when I was pushing out Symphony Nocturne, what I did was I called a couple of my friends who are not into fragrance like that. They just wear fragrances and they have very weird ways of describing a fragrance. So I called them and I gave them the mods. I'm like, you know what? Just smell this and tell me which one is your favorite. And yeah. Yeah, it helped to confirm what I was thinking because again, I know like some you could be an expert at doing something because like my day-to-day job, I do product development and product management. And doing it for myself, I'm a little bit harsh on myself just because it's mine and I'm taking extra care. And I'm a Virgo, I have OCD, and because of that, I could be an overthinker and that could really make me shut down. So sometimes I would just pull somebody in, like, you have no context, nothing at all, just smell this and tell me what you think.
Yeah, I used to draw. Well, I still draw, but I remember drawing, and I would show people my pictures, and they'd be like, "Oh my God, this is so beautiful!" And I'd be like, "Well, what about the hands? What about the arms? What about the anatomy?" And they would just be like, "I like it."
And you see, like, just to circle back with that, one thing I learned, which was I feel like the most difficult thing, is you cannot chase perfection. Perfection is a thief of joy. You improve every day. You have to chase improvement, not perfection. For me, I wanted everything to be perfect before I do anything, and because of that, I overthink, and then I shut down and I don't do anything. And that took away a lot of things. I just had to be like, one day I was just like, you know what, F it. I'm just gonna push out whatever. Before I would not get on live because I was like, oh, do I look okay on live? Oh, I probably need to do makeup. Right now I'm here. Ain't no makeup on this face. It is what it is. Y'all enjoy the live or not.
So now that you have your own brand, do you find yourself subconsciously like critiquing other brands and being like, I wouldn't do it like that. I would do it like this, or like,
I try not to do that, honestly, because I feel like other brands do what they feel like is best, and that's the best for them. For me, I just focus on my brand, and that's what it is. When you start to critique other people's brands, before you know it, those thoughts become very loud that everybody can hear, and then that becomes a problem. You know, so I just keep my comments and my thoughts to myself. I'm like, if that rocks your boat, it is what it is, honey. I think I got way bigger problems over here to focus on, and that's just what I do. I just try to mind my business a lot. Like when you mind your business, you save yourself from a lot of trouble. So
so we're gonna swing on over back to money because I think you'll like this question. The questions, setting up the questions.
yeah,
How much do materials impact your pricing?
materials that we use to create, um, they do actually a lot. And I'll be honest with you, the only reason why House of Iyrah right now is $300 is because we're just new. If we were an older brand, our fragrances would be $500. Not because of anything, but because of things that we put in there to give you top quality. You know what I'm saying? Like working with these big perfume houses, they ask you questions like, okay, what what is the price per kg that you're looking at for your oils? I could easily tell them $100. $100 will give you fragrance that when you smell, you have a headache. But I'm like, I don't want that because I like nice stuff, and I have to make sure that it translates into House of Iyrah. House of Iyrah is an extension of Samira. Yeah, the House of Iyrah is an extension of Samira. So pricing, the materials that you use will always impact your price. Well, I'll speak for myself. For me, yes, I charge what I charge for House of Iyrah just because of the amount of money that we spend towards production. It's a lot. I remember the first time I had to pay an invoice, an invoice of like uh 25K. Child. Yeah, no, no,
And you're
no.
like, "Ugh."
Bro, like I literally cried after that because I'm like, what?
So, speaking about materials,
Mhm.
what goes into l'artisan that makes it your most expensive offering?
So the first of all, the price per kg for Latisan is very expensive, very very expensive. And then secondly, Latisan is a 40% oil concentration perfume. 40. Yes. Yeah. Yeah. That makes it more expensive than the others because it's way more expensive to create. Putting it together, you have to use almost two times the amount of juice that you use for the, because every other fragrance that we have is 30%. So Latizan is 40%. And again, that was a selfish reason, just because Latizan is inspired by my dad. I wanted something really long lasting. Now, obviously, the concentration of oils matter a little bit when it comes to long lasting, because sometimes you could just use the right notes that would make it long lasting. But for me, I wanted something that was really 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 going to be long lasting, because when you spray Latizan on your clothes, it's not going anywhere, baby. It just gets better with time, because it's going to be there. You can spray Latizan on your skin, and all day, all day, you will still smell it on you. That's why it's more expensive. And again, if I was being fair, I would charge more for it. But again, when you're starting out as the market, you have to try to create your presence, let it be known, create your community, let people appreciate you, so that when you push out your creations, regardless of how much you charge for it, your community will still buy it, especially when they know that you don't compromise on quality. House of Iyrah is not for everybody. I know that for a fact. It's not for everybody. I don't expect everybody to appreciate House of Iyrah just because people have taste, different taste and whatnot. I just believe that the community and the people who appreciate House of Iyrah will always be there for House of Iyrah. If somebody's like, oh, because I got in a review. Somebody said that Nocturne didn't even last up to an hour on her skin. It's not strong enough, like you said, and this and that. I was like, okay, I guess it lasts on your skin and on your clothes. But again, body chemistry, it is what it is. I can't get offended with stuff like that. I'm just like, okay, point taken. Yeah, but that's what makes Artisan more expensive than the others.
So your fragrances do retail for 300 and up. Has there been any pushback on pricing? Has there been any, like, if you lower the price, you'll get more sales?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Absolutely. I had people say like, "Who do you think you are to be charging that? Oh this, oh that. You're still new. You shouldn't be charging that." I'm like, "Who are you to tell me what to do? If the price don't make sense for you, it's not for you. It is what it is. Keep it moving. Let's be nice and gracious. You don't want to get cussed out." So, but yeah,
In the
yes.
words of Fumi, the price is the price.
It is what it is. Yes. Yep. And you, like, when you're a new brand, people will always look at you like, who do you think you are? Why are you charging what you charge? And again, I try not to make this about race. When you're a black owned brand, your own people will be looking at you like, who do you think you are to be charging that? You know what I'm saying? Um, and I'm like, if it's not for you, it's not for you, baby. It's okay. Don't worry. Maybe one day. It's just
So,
not right now.
can you explain the balance of wanting to release something interesting and creative, but also wanting to release something that needs to sell?
I'll be honest with you. When we did Symphony and we did Act One and we did Opera, I was very skeptical about pushing them out because I was like, this is fragrances. I don't see anything like this out there in the market. So this will be very, especially American market. This will be very, very new because I'll be honest with you, House of Iyrah fragrances fit more the European style versus American style. American market, people are used to smell like food, very edible stuff and whatnot. I was very skeptical about Symphony. I was like, I don't think that people would get it. Because even when people come to smell Symphony, I'm like, don't smell Symphony on paper, smell it on skin. Smell it on skin. It smells better on skin versus on paper. On paper, you don't get the full glory of Symphony. And it was hard. And again, that was one of the reasons why I was crying in my office because I'm like, this is a huge risk that I'm taking. Are people gonna get it? Are people gonna see the vision? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. And for me, I'm always just gonna stick to something very creative versus something that is mass appealing because, like I said, The moment I realized that House of Ira is not for everybody, that changed the way I look at everything. I'm not trying to create something that goes viral. I'm not trying to create something that is all over the market. I'm more about quality over quantity. So yeah, that's the perspective I put in when trying to create something. Like if I was talking to a perfumer and they're like, "Oh, you know what? Maybe we could use the inspiration of back." What? No, give me something new. Give me something new. I'm sure the people will like it. People just have to get accustomed to it. The more you smell it, the more it grows on you, and then you decide to go for a full bottle. So yeah.
Now you touched on this already, but I had my question. I was ready. I was like, I know this is going to come up. Do you find it challenging to be a Black woman-owned brand when it comes to expanding your business?
Okay. I have three things. If you were to put me and another brand, even a white owned brand, another black owned brand, it's three things. Number one, I'm a woman. Women are not really welcomed into the space. I feel like right now people are just getting used to the fact that you have female. Because I'm a perfumer, even though I'm not licensed, I'm a perfumer because we get to do the creative brief and everything. Then obviously you have a licensed perfumer who puts together the notes and everything. That way you don't get burnt and no chemical, whatever. So the perfume space, the fragrance space feels like a mean girls club, which is men trying to put it together and not letting women in. So the fact that I'm a woman is like, I'm a black woman. And it's like, and I'm an immigrant. So an immigrant black woman. Three things. It's hard. But one thing that I will say is every time I show up I take space unapologetically. And I'll keep doing what I have to do. I feel like the connections that I've made is because of who I am and how confident I am. I'm somebody who I'm willing to admit that I don't know. I'm willing to learn. You know, it's okay to be the dumbest person in the room. You learn a lot. But take space, don't be scared, don't shy. Said explore. I was the only black person on my panel. And from the feedback that I got, a lot of people loved what I had to say. You know? Um some of the people on there, like they're like, oh wow, very curious to what and who House of Iyrah is. I have to come smell it, you know, just because of how confidently I put myself out there. Granted, I was squirming inside, but you don't gotta know that. I'm just always gonna have to show up because again, even from my background in corporate, it's I'm a black woman, immigrant. It's very uncommon to see me in a leadership position, and who is she? How did you get I had somebody ask me, how did you get the money you had to start your fragrance brand? Oh, you're very articulate. Where did you learn to speak English? How did you get into this leadership position? Mm, yeah. So for me, if people can be audacious enough to ask me those questions with a straight face, I'll be audacious enough to show up in a room and I know that I belong there. You don't gotta give me a table. I'm gonna find my way around the room and create a table for myself. It is what it is. Yeah.
I always I had a point in my life where I always tell a story about like how I decided to have audacity basically. And I don't know if you've ever been there, but Penn Station, they have like the escalator and the steps. And I remember one day I got off the train and I watched this family.
Mm,
I watched this family get off the train. They looked at the escalator. The escalator was being repaired. It had a big sign that said, "Under repair, use the steps." They looked at the sign, read the sign, moved the sign out the way, went up the escalator, everyone else going up the steps. So we all get to the top at the same time, and there's a guy like inside the escalator fixing it. And the people are up there and they're like, excuse me, excuse me. And the man is like, what are you doing? He's like, can we can just jump across, right? And the man's like, no, go back down and take the steps. And so like after that, I was like, wow, I what's stopping me from doing this? Because if I live my life with this much audacity, who knows what I could accomplish?
You know, in the IT world, there's a saying: if you have the audacity of a white man, you will climb up the corporate ladder so fast. Because as Black people, we're constantly, subconsciously feeling the need to always prove ourselves. Now, even when you feel like you don't need to prove yourself, people that look like you will constantly question you that you feel the need again to prove yourself. These people don't prove themselves. They don't. Half the time, they don't know what they're talking about. They just regurgitate what they've heard from somebody else and just be the loudest person in the room, and then they get the promotion. If they have that audacity to regurgitate what you probably mentioned to them outside of a meeting, what is stopping you from doing the same? You know, like for me, I will never explain myself to anybody. Never, never, never. If I need to explain myself to somebody, I will call my mom or call my best friend, call anybody else, but I'll just never. Mm-mm. Like in corporate America, I don't care who's in the room. You could be the VP, you could be the CEO. If you do some BS, my face is going to tell you exactly what I'm thinking. I just might not say the words at the time, but the look I'm going to give you, mm-hmm, yeah. No, oh, seriously. Like, I don't have that time. Like, in corporate America, especially, I don't have that time. Don't come here with my time. Like, if you pull me to a meeting, I'm like, what is this meeting for again? This could have been an email. Anyways.
Has there ever been a time when someone told you that you can't do it and then you proved them wrong?
Absolutely. A lot of times in my life, I have been told that. You know, it could be a partner that I had or a friend that I had that was like, oh, yeah, you can't do this. You're too small. I've had that. And I know I'll keep having it. And I just know for a fact that, because for me, I'm Christian and I believe in God a lot. Everything that I am, everything the House of Iyrah is not by my power, it's God. I just believe that God keeps blessing me and He keeps blessing us and putting us in the place that we are, because I feel like besides House of Iyrah being what it is, there's a calling behind it. We could just be that brand that could probably save somebody by giving them a job, that could probably save an entire family from eviction. You know, everything happens for a reason. There's always that alignment. We don't have to see the bigger picture, but you just know for a fact that you're playing a path in it, and you just have to make sure you do what you got to do, you know, play it properly. I believe that God uses people as pockets or as modes of transport of blessings. We just have to be able to recognize when there's an angel standing in front of us in the form of a human being. But yeah, every time that somebody tells me that, you know what? So, beauty word Dubai. Um, there was this lady. Apparently, she's the liaison between brands and retailers. So I was supposed to have a meeting with her. I had a meeting with her. Mind you, I had met this lady at San Explore last year, and she loved everything about House of Iyrah. She kept telling me like, "Hey, you need to be in Bloomingdale's. You need to be in Bergdorf. You need to be in Harrods." So I had to meet with her so that we could talk about what are the goals that I'm hoping to get out of Beauty World. And we met, we talked, and she's like, "Yeah, I love your fragrances." And she's like, "Oh, by the way, you need to raise your prices. I've smelled your fragrances. Your fragrances are really good, but your prices are too low. You need to increase it, especially if you want to sell in the European market. Like, you need to increase your prices." I was like, "Okay." I just don't know how we're gonna push that news out to the American market, but we'll see about that. Maybe the next fragrances that we push out there, based on the perfumes that we use, yeah, our prices could go up. And then The guy who was organizing it, the main person that I was contacting or talking to, he comes back and he tells me like, "Oh well, she said that she doesn't think that your stuff are good enough. You know, you're not ready. Da 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 da. Maybe you should not come for Beauty World anymore. You know, don't worry, we'll just refund your money." I was like, mind you, I was hurt. My feelings were very hurt, but I was like, we're still coming for Beauty World. What she had to say, I don't care if she has 20 years of experience in the industry. That's her problem. I'll let the I'll let the consumers decide. We're still gonna come for Beauty World, and we're gonna do what we have to do, and we still showed up. So yeah, imagine if I let that stop me. Yeah.
Well, I'm sure you'll be proving her wrong very
Oh,
soon.
absolutely. And you know what? I saw her at Beauty World. She was about to walk right past my booth. I was like, "Hello, hi, remember me? How are you?" She's like, "Oh, I didn't see you." I was like, "Hmm." Girl, you know you were trying to sneak past it. And then I was like, yeah, by the way, so I heard what you said about my brand. She's like, oh no, I didn't. I'm like, yes, ma'am. Well, I don't know. That's what came back to me. And I'm just telling you, we're here. Why would you say something to me and then say something else to the other guy? Why didn't you just give me the feedback? And she's like, oh, I'm going to have to talk to them. And they didn't have to say that. They're not my mouthpiece. Yeah, right. It is what it is. I don't care. But at least, see, one thing I learned from Fumi, which is like a constant reminder, is you don't burn any bridges. You don't burn any bridges. No matter how somebody did you dirty, let them know that you're aware of what they did. And when you see them in public, you say hi. You don't have to have a conversation. Just say hi. That's it. That's it. You don't want a situation where your name is being called in a room that you're not even in, and just because that person might have some kind of influence, and they could say something. You know, sometimes we be the blockers of our blessings just because we let our emotions get the best of us. It's okay. You see how they work. We see each other. You don't have to be friends with them. You don't have to be anything. Just be professional and be like, hey, how are you? Great. Okay. Ciao. Yeah.
So, since she doesn't think you're ready, why do you think it is that black brands they don't that people don't want black brands to exist in the luxury space?
Have you seen me? Have you seen you? You see how gorgeous we look? Black exudes luxury. A lot of the things about culture around the world, we started it. Every time a black person puts their hands on something, it turns into gold. A lot of people back, like they feed off of our stuff and they make money off of it. So imagine when we capitalize on what we are naturally born with. Now, it's not up to them to not want us in the luxury space. Granted, they don't want us because they know that once we step in, maybe it's competition. Because I know for a fact that I give a lot of brands a run for their money at Sin Explore. And yeah, we're still going to be there. We're going to create our own space. We're going to do what we got to do. It's not a competition, baby. The sky is so big for everybody to succeed, you know? So, yeah, they don't want us, but it's not up to them.
It's funny that you said that we are the standard because I was talking to someone and we were talking about how we only like certain artists' music when they work with black producers.
No, seriously. Do you know that black people are the highest consumers in the beauty space? And you know, sometimes I just sit and ask myself, I'm like, I wish that we could stick together and support our own. Now, granted, I know some things still need to go back to the drawing board, and that's okay. But the ones who are putting their foot in and doing an amazing job, support them. Consume their stuff the way you have FOMO to consume other people's stuff. Have FOMO for your own. Have FOMO for your own and consume it. But again, your people will always find you. And I'm so grateful for you guys who believe in House of Iyrah and constantly support us. And that's why for me, during Sun Explore, I couldn't hold back the tears anymore. Like it was just so emotional. Like, whoo, yeah.
So, speaking of stores, would you like to be carried in stores? And if so, which stores align with the vision of your brand?
Being carried in stores is very tricky. It's great for brand awareness, but at what cost? There's certain stores that if they have to carry your stuff, they don't pay you until they've sold out on everything they've carried for you. Then you get paid. As a small brand, that's we cannot afford that. If we were to be carried in stores, I would love to be in niche perfumeries, like the small niche boutiques. It's easier because with those people, wholesale price is 50%, right? But when you're dealing with distributors to get into retail stores, it's like a 75%. You don't really make any money on top of that. And for me, House of Iyrah is luxury. When something is luxury, you don't see it all over the place. I would prefer for people to come to our website and by God's grace, if we ever open a store, come to our store. But yeah. I'm not too crazy about it right now. I think the one niche perfumery that I'm like, okay, it would be nice for us to get in there, Lucky Scent. It would be nice to get into Lucky Scent, but I heard it's very, very difficult. But we'll see. I'm still to work the Samira magic on, yeah. I've been told a lot of things are difficult and I still was able to get it. So we'll see. But those are the things that I'll probably target just because it helps with brand awareness. But I would prefer if everybody just came to our website because we have samples on the website for a reason. Like just purchase the samples, try it out. Now I understand people internationally where shipping could be expensive. Yeah, it would be nice if I can find like niche perfumeries outside of the US just for people outside of the US. But if you're in the US, just get the samples on the website and try it out. Then you go for, a big bottle. Because the truth is, when we sell to these stores, we sell at 50%. And so we make some money, but not as much as if we were to make the sales directly from the website. Yeah.
Okay. Now, given the 2025 trend toward vanilla and not really having a gourmand vanilla fragrance, will you be putting your own spin on it? How would you make it different? What are our thoughts here?
Now, Symphony has vanilla in it. um, if I was to make a gourmand fragrance, it's definitely not gonna be vanilla, to be honest. But it's definitely gonna be something very elevated. I like elevated scents. You know, you could wear it down, you could wear it up. It all depends on you. But it's definitely gonna be elevated. You're not gonna smell like no lemon pound cake or anything. No shade to them. I just don't like to smell like food. You guys will never get that from House of Ira. Sorry. But you're gonna get something very elevated, very chic.
So, what are your favorite notes?
I feel like the first one is obvious, amber. Amber is my favorite note for excuse me, for personal reasons, being that my dad used to wear a lot of amber oils, and that's why you see amber is like one of the hero notes in most of our fragrances. And I just feel like amber is so elevated. Like amber in any fragrance, baby, you steal the show. I love hmm, I love oud, but like an oud in nocturne, yes. If it smells like a barn or anything, no, that's not for me. I'll be honest with you, I never used to wear gourmands up until recently. Um, mm, I love florals. Yeah, I love florals. I love florals. Amber is my favorite, to be honest. If I see a fragrance that has amber in it, I'll gravitate more, but I have to smell it. If it doesn't take me on a journey, we're not going home with it. And every other note, it just depends on how it's done, you know? So, yeah.
Well, we've done your favorite, so what's your least favorite?
Child. Eh, mm, mm, uh, okay. Yes. Um, I don't know how I feel about almond fragrances. I don't know how I feel about that. Um, Fragrances that are very boozy. I'm very skeptical with that. Like the boozy notes. Sometimes it could be so synthetic that it's just like ugh. But if it's done very beautifully, I'll wear it. You know. Um, Notes that make things too edible. Like I don't want to smell like cinnamon or apple pie. No, no, I don't like all of those notes to be honest. I've tried over the years to be much more open when it comes to notes and not be too picky just because I'm realizing that, you know what? Because before I would never wear floral. I was only ouds and embers, to be honest. And then I started wearing florals and I was like, oh, this smells really good on me. You know, I would love it on other people. I just didn't care for it. But yeah.
So what are some underexplored notes that you would like to experiment with?
I know for a fact that I have fig in mind. I love fig. I love fig. I feel like fig, when beautifully done, can be very, very nice. Um, I understand that yes, there are way too many milk fragrances, but I would like to have my own spin on a milk fragrance, just because. We'll see. Yeah. Um, Let me see. I'm trying to think. I feel like, I mean, I know for a fact that a lot of people don't like leather, but I love leather. You know, I feel like if you do it right and just have the right proportions, you love it. Like, I think hibiscus mahajad has leather in it, but I love hibiscus. That's a part of my signature combo, baby. Ciao. Hibiscus mahajad and nocturne, hibiscus mahajad and symphony. Yeah. But, hmm. You give me something to think about. I need to sit down and think more about what are some notes that I would like to explore. But I know fig is one of them. Fig is definitely
I'm
one
going
of
to piggyback off of that and say, is there anything from your culture that you think would make a good fragrance?
yeah, yeah. The fragrance that we were working on right now, initially we were gonna use something from my culture, but they didn't quite get the note right. So I kind of scratched that off. Maybe that'll be another project for another year. Um, a tea fragrance. I wanted to do my own spin on a tea fragrance, but I don't want it to see like a tea fragrance that I truly, truly admire. There's two tea fragrances that I really admire. They're top in my books. African Robotics by Chris Collins and the African Robotics Extrait, baby. Child. They eat down. Like, yeah. And then Oh the Memo by Memo Paris. Oh the Memo is like a green tea fragrance. I love it. I love it so much. Like it's very calming, if that makes sense. Like it's very calming. So because I'm originally from Cameroon. For those of you who don't know, Cameroon is in Central Africa, and one of the things that we export is tea. We export a lot of tea, bananas, rubber, and palm oil. But yeah, tea. Definitely that from my background is something that I want to. Hi, Fumi. Sorry, I know everybody was saying hi, but I just saw Fumi pop up. So, hey, girl. But yes, tea is definitely something that I want to see what we can do with tea. I'm very intrigued.
So which fragrance do you think is the best representation of House of Ira?
Baby. All of them represent different aspects of House of Iyrah because I feel like all of our fragrances are very unique. They all hold different memories. So it just depends on how you want to look at House of Iyrah. From what lens. That's I will put it that way. Each of them is a lens, depending on how you want to look at it. So each of them all represent something about House of Iyrah. I can't pick. It's like having kids and you asking the mother like, "Who's your favorite kid?" No,
Which one is your most worn?
Um, okay. It's a tie between symphony and nocturne. Let me explain. Nocturne is something that I like to wear a lot at night. And when I look at my signature combo, like my signature, nocturne actually makes a part of that. Symphony, I like to wear symphony during the day. I wear symphony a lot during the day. Um, Act one, I wear Act one if I'm running errands or just staying at home. Act one is an everyday fragrance. And then opera to me is an homage to my mom. I wear opera on very special occasions. And then L'Artisan, obviously, that is after my dad. When I'm having like a really, really big event, boss moves, I'll wear L'Artisan. Or if I'm missing my dad so much, I'll wear that. But yeah. But my most worn is Nocturne and Symphony. I'm not even gonna lie.
What are your favorite non-House of Iyrah fragrances?
Known House of Iyrah fragrances. Oh, easy. I love Hibiscus Mahajat. I love Guidance 46. I love Purpose 50. I love I love Exalte as well. Yeah. Exalte is really, really good. Like Exalte goes with a lot of our fragrances. So that's like something that I put on. I love Chris Collins. Yeah, period. I love Chris Collins. I love I love Clive Christian. I love Clive Christian. And I'm just thinking of fragrances that have a lot from them. I love Roja. Roja, I love to wear Roja fragrances. Um I'm trying to think. Oh, Floreco, Sand and Skin. For some reason, that has me in a chokehold right now. Like if you layer that with Symphony, very nice, very very nice, very nice. Um, Ciao. I'm trying to have like a mental picture of my perfume collection to see what's in there. But yeah,
What fragrance has the strongest memory attached to it?
L'Artisan. Yeah, L'Artisan. Because it was the first that we pushed out. L'Artisan is after my dad. For me, it's a very comfort scent. And when I miss my dad, I wear L'Artisan. And if I need my dad right there, like if I'm going for like a boss major move, I wear L'Artisan. Now, when you spray Latizan, it could be very spicy, but the dry down is where the beauty is. Like it's very beautiful. Like the amber comes out and it really shines so well. Yeah. But yeah, Latizan has the strongest memory.
So what advice would you give someone who wants to start and self-fund their own brand?
Yeah. Somebody actually DM'd me yesterday again about this. I get a lot of DMs about this. Okay. First things first, you have to ask yourself, why are you starting a brand? What is your purpose? What is your why? Until you can define your why, you're not ready to start that brand. Because if you're trying to start the brand just because, right? Because I'll be honest with you, right now, starting a perfume brand is a trend. A lot of people are doing it. You see celebrities doing it. People are just doing it. You see the tech bros doing it, all of that. And people are doing it because when you look at the margins, especially in the beauty space, perfume pushes out the highest margins. And so people are like, okay, you know what? We can do this. But the good thing is people can see and tell when you're just trying to be a cash cow, like you're just trying to make money. So why are you starting a fragrance brand? What is your story? Because if you don't have a story to tell, what sets you apart? Because that story is what's going to make you different from this mass market that we are in. Secondly, make sure you show up authentically as yourself. People are watching. People are always watching. Like you'd be surprised. People are always watching. You have to show up as yourself. Don't try to fit in. Don't try to jump on every trend that you see. Because if you do that, then you start to confuse your community. People will follow you because they connect with you, they can relate with you, they can relate whatever story that you have. Imagine now I come and tell you guys like, yeah, guys, I'm creating a fragrance brand. And again, I'm not throwing shit at anybody. I'm just trying to say I'm creating a fragrance brand based on AI. The community that we've created is like, what? What? You know what I'm saying? Because that's the new trend right now. So you got to stay authentic and true to who you are, and, and always pick quality over quantity. It's better to push one fragrance out and you did an amazing job with that fragrance than to push out 12 and it's all crap. Because I promise you, when you're starting out, you have one opportunity, one window to show yourself. You know the saying where first impression matters? It really does. Especially when you're a new brand, it really does. Because if you show up funky and funny, this crowd is not very forgiving. They're not very forgiving. Like, you will barely ever get a second chance. So if you're gonna show up, yes, if you're gonna show up, take your time and show up well. Be patient. I remember when I first started, I wanted to be like, oh, I was like, everybody's gonna want to wear House of Iyrah, and I didn't get it. I was like, why am I not getting the awareness and support and everything? And Inez, she's a friend and she's also my creative director. She told me, she's like, Samira, be patient. Your people will find you, and when the time is right, everything will align. And I have never forgotten that. I have never forgotten that. You have to be patient because building a community is something that takes time. You're trying to earn people's trust. People are asking themselves, why should they give you their money? Why should they buy from you? Always try to put yourself in the consumer's shoes. Always try to think like a consumer. Because you're a consumer yourself, right? Do you just buy everything you see? No. Subconsciously, you're like, why should I pick this one over this? It happens to your brand too. And then lastly, but not the least, if you're a Christian, whatever it is that you believe in, pray for discernment and wisdom. Wisdom, because you need, this is your first time of doing it. You've never done this before. So you definitely need that wisdom to know who you're signing contracts with, to know the people that you're having around you, because you could sign one bad contract that could lock you in for a whole year or multiple years, and you spend a lot of money. It's happened to me before. I mean, mine was just for like a year, but I didn't know any better, you know. But I've learned it's a very expensive lesson. Some people, these lessons can kill your business for life. So always pray to God to give you wisdom so you can apply that in the decisions that you make for your brand. And then discernment to know the people around you. It's very important that the people you hire understand your brand. They're not just coming there to make money. No, they come in there because they understand your brand, they relate with your brand, then they want to make money. Because when people understand your brand, it's easy for them to deliver in a way that is in line or in alignment with your brand. You know, um, yeah, I think that's it. Oh yeah, yeah. Yeah. You cannot you cannot drink from every cup of water that people offer you. That's how you get poisoned. People are going to give you advice. A lot of people give you advice. You have to sit down and ask yourself, what makes sense to me? Because people will speak from their experience. Just because I said that, oh, self fund your business. Baby, if you don't got it, you don't got it. If you feel like investment is the best way, go about it. Just be smart with it. Yeah. And oh, you got to spend money to make money. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Would
Yeah.
you ever creative direct for another brand?
No. No. Again, it goes back to quality over quantity. I'm not done even putting House of Iyrah together. Imagine me trying to juggle House of Iyrah and another brand. Baby, all that creative juice that I would have been putting in that brand, I could put that into House of Iyrah. It's the same thing I tell people on my 9 to 5, like, finish, like, stop starting and start finishing. Finish what you have in hand first before you're jumping into something else. Because imagine that you're all over the place, something is going to suffer. And that's where your quality starts to suffer. And people are going to notice. Because again, imagine me saying that I'm doing this for House of Iyrah and then I'm doing something else for another brand. So what am I known for? How am I trying to build a community? That's how I'm going to confuse people, right? I like to stay focused on one thing and do it properly.
And my last question for you is, if not fragrance, then what?
Oof. If not fragrance, I would have started my own consulting company, to provide services to people. Again, like I said, I do have that background in AI right now. And given that it's something that a lot of people are doing, I would love to provide like how to use AI responsibly. I would like to help companies know that because a lot of people are just jumping onto it and they're just firing. Because you know how you see online, you see people saying that, oh, AI is going to replace people. No, AI is not going to replace people, I promise you. For AI to work, you need human beings. Granted, AI helps you to be much more productive because the rate at which AI will get work done might be faster, but you still need a human being to review that because there's always going to be a bias. Mind you, AI works based on historical data, and most of this historical data is input by human. And sometimes this data can be biased. Bias based on what the person knows, bias based on race, bias based on sexuality, and how fair is that? I would love to work with companies to help show them better ways that they can use AI responsibly to help them deliver value better. I would have opened a consulting firm for that. Yeah. I mean, to an extent, I like to teach as well. So I guess that's where it comes from, So I used to teach part time, just part time. I helped a lot of people break into IT. So I used to teach them, get them certified in project management and product management. And yeah, but yes.
That's all of my questions.
I appreciate it. This has been very helpful, and I feel like a lot of people in the audience might have picked a thing or two. I'm always happy to. I don't know everything. I learn every day, and I'm probably gonna learn till I die. Okay, um, but I'm happy to always share whatever knowledge I have to anybody else who asks. Please make sure you do your due diligence before. Don't walk around saying Samira said. No, Samira did not say. You asked a question and I responded. It's up to you to decide what you do with it.